The sound of heavy rain echoed against the empty streets. A biker in a black leather jacket stopped at the red light, the hum of his motorcycle low and steady. Through the haze, his eyes caught something that made him take off his helmet in disbelief. A police officer, uniform soaked, badge gleaming, just slapped an old homeless man who was sitting under a street lamp, clutching a torn blanket. The man didn't fight back. He just whispered, "I'm sorry, officer. I was just cold." The biker's hands tightened on the handlebars. The light turned green. He could have just driven away. But instead, he turned off his engine, stepped off his bike, and walked toward them, unaware that what he was about to do would shake the entire police station the next morning. Jake Ryder wasn't just any biker. He was a former soldier, a man who had seen injustice in war zones, corruption in camps, and the pain of good people getting crushed by power. After losing his best friend overseas, Jake had returned home only to find the same kind of cruelty here, quiet, casual, ignored. That night, he had been riding home from his late shift at the auto garage when he saw it, a uniformed officer striking a defenseless man. The homeless man, fragile and trembling, looked like he hadn't eaten in days. His hands shook as he tried to explain, "Sir, I wasn't begging near the store, I swear. I was just warming up." The officer, young, arrogant, the kind who believed the badge gave him power instead of responsibility, shouted, "You're littering the street, old man. Move before I arrest you." And then he shoved him again. Jake's boots hit the wet pavement as he walked forward. "That's enough," he said firmly. The officer turned, surprised. "This is police business." "Move along," the cop snapped. Jake folded his arms. "And I'm a citizen watching you abuse a man who's already at rock bottom. So maybe I won't move." The tension was thick. Rain fell harder. The old man looked terrified, not of the biker, but of what might happen next. The officer's jaw clenched. "You trying to interfere with law enforcement?" Jake stared at him, calm, but deadly serious. "No. I'm just trying to remind you what law enforcement is supposed to mean." The officer raised his hand again, but this time Jake stepped between them. The biker's tone dropped, cold and steady. "You hit him again, and you'll have to go through me." A few bystanders started recording with their phones. The officer froze, the sudden awareness that eyes were watching him. After a tense pause, he turned away, muttering, "Fine. He's all yours. Let's see how long you can babysit him." Jake knelt beside the homeless man. "You okay, sir?" The man nodded weakly. His name was Henry. He had been an accountant once, until his wife's cancer bills and a layoff took everything. "I just wanted to stay near the cafe, the smell of food helps me sleep," he whispered with a broken smile. Jake didn't say much. He just took off his leather jacket and wrapped it around Henry's shoulders. "Let's get you out of the rain," he said that night. Jake bought him a meal, cleaned up his wounds, and gave him a place to sleep in the small repair shop he worked at. Henry cried quietly as he ate. "You didn't have to do this." Jake's eyes softened. "No one has to do the right thing. They just decide to." But what Jake didn't know was that the video of him standing up to that cop was already spreading online. By morning, it would hit every phone in town. The next morning, Jake rode to the station. Not to boast, but to speak. He had barely parked his bike when reporters started shouting his name. "Jake Ryder, are you the biker in the video? Do you think the officer should be fired?" Jake ignored them. He walked inside, helmet under his arm. The same officer from last night, Officer Davis, was there, red-faced, trying to explain himself to the captain. When Jake entered, the whole station went quiet. The captain looked up. "You're the man from the video?" "Yes, sir," Jake said calmly. "But I'm not here to humiliate anyone. I'm here to remind you what that badge means." He looked straight at Davis. "You don't slap people who are already beaten by life. You help them. That man out there, he's someone's father. Someone's son. You wear that uniform to serve, not to hurt." No one moved. Even the younger officers, who had laughed along with Davis before, now avoided his eyes. The captain sighed, looking ashamed. "You're right," he said quietly. "And I promise, this will be handled." Jake nodded. He didn't stay for applause. He just turned to leave. But as he reached the door, a voice called from behind Henry's. The old man stood at the entrance, in clean clothes the station had provided, tears in his eyes. "Mr. Ryder," he said softly. "I never thought I'd be treated like a human again. You gave me that." Jake smiled faintly. "Don't thank me. Just pay it forward someday." As he stepped outside, reporters swarmed him again, asking for statements, interviews, sponsorships, fame. Jake just said one thing before starting his bike: kindness isn't viral content. It's supposed to be normal. And with that, he rode off, rain starting to fall again, leaving behind a police station full of officers who, for the first time in years, were quiet enough to think about what kind of people they really were.